Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to the transformation video for Touchtoys Carefray. Now, I've already got the landing gear out, so I'm not going to include that. But other than that, let's get right to it. And first thing I'm going to do is take the weapon out. I'll go ahead and split that, disconnect that, and then pretty much just pull up on it, and we'll get that out of the way for now. I'll leave those open. So next thing I want to do, I'm going to fold these down and I'm going to split the wings. For the most part, you can just peel them apart, but up here they have hooks that go down, so we'll have to give it a little wiggle, and there you go. So I'm pretty much pulling out and a little bit of up with it. But more out, no, there you go. I just gave it a wiggle for that last little bit. All right, so there's that. I'm going to come up here. I'm going to separate these two pieces. And I'm going to pull apart the landing gear area here. Now you've got this and then two dovetails. One thing you can do once you've got to this point is just pull on the landing gear. That'll at least separate it. And then you can just give this an extra little squeeze. There we go. And once that's done, fold that up, get that out of the way. Next we're going to pull apart on these pieces. You just pull them straight out. And by doing that, you're freeing up this. And you're freeing up the arms from where they sit in there. And you're also losing a little bit of the rigidity of the aircraft. So it's going to get a little floppy on you. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and open up these panels and get the arms out of the way. They're tabbed in there pretty good on my copy. There we go. And I'm just going to rotate the arms out and lock them in at this square joint, this joint up here. Do that, bring it out, and lock it in. And I'll bring the arms up, and I'm going to split these small panels from the bigger panels on both sides. Bigger ones will get locked back in, and the small ones will rotate all the way around. And there we go. All right. Now I'll come back to that, to the upper body later. Now I want to do on this double joint, I want to fold it in. So fold it like that, rotate it in, and you see everything comes to the other side. When it gets to this point, you may need to close up the doors for the main landing gear, but then it'll keep on going. You can keep these doors closed, stretch it out a little bit, fold that over, and then this section with the red dot is going to go right inside. All right, and for now, I'll just leave it like that. We'll come back to that momentarily because we got to separate these. So just pull up on them and split them apart. And then they have ball joints on top here, and then this little rotating plastic piece. So go ahead and angle them out, rotate them down, because now we got to rotate the upper body at that joint. And then get all this out of the way, kind of. And you want to rotate the lower body at this chrome joint. So there you go. And now we're going to split the legs down the middle. We're going to rotate these little armatures. There we go. Rotate those around and rotate the chrome piece with them. So again, rotate it around, then rotate the chrome piece, and then bring it out a couple of clicks. What we want right now, we'll have these off to the side, and we want these tabs on the inside of the thighs facing toward the middle. Zoom in just a tiny bit and not go hitting everything. Okay, so now I'm going to bring this up, and I want to rotate it at that chrome armature, because what we're going to do is those tabs I just showed you are going to go into these square holes on the side of the nose gear's little compartment. So you just get them in, and they should be a pretty good thoop. There we go, those are in. Now I'm going to angle this piece down and close up the doors just to kind of try and get it out of my way. Make sure this nose gear is all the way back, and then we're going to rotate this up, and this plastic piece is going to go into the wheel itself. The chrome piece is going to go right in here, behind the silver painted lights of the landing gear. All right, just get all that plugged in on both sides. Just going to give it some strength. All right, now we'll go ahead and do the legs. So flip open on that inner knee joint and disconnect this joint. Flip up on that part of the fuselage, pull that back half back, and on the post that's in here, slide it out. There we go. So you can get it back. Then you'll lift up on that and that chrome piece. You'll separate the landing gear from the leg by pulling out on the blue piece. Then you'll lift it up a little, rotate it, and then rotate it again. So it's looking like that. Now I'm going to rotate this and close up that thigh joint. I'll keep the knee up here for now so it's out of my way. I'm going to rotate this around, because what I'm going to do, I want to rotate this whole fuselage piece. There we go. And as you saw, it helps if you kind of close up this when you're ready to bring it through that gap. But that's the easiest way I've found to do it. I'll go ahead and flip this around because I'm going to want it like this when I'm all done. Now, I'm going to rotate the entire foot around, flip up that, rotate this, rotate the chrome piece, and I'll bring this landing gear a little bit forward. I'll put the foot back down. Now for back here, this tab is going to go into the slot that is right here on top of the foot. And then this tab with the hole in it is going to plug into this tab on the chrome piece. All right, so go ahead and get all this set up. There we go. Good, that's all done. Now is what I'll do is I'll bring this down, push it in on that peg. The inner part of this door has a post. You can see it right there, kind of. That's going to go into the bit of the thruster. So just line it up and get that plugged in. There we go. And then I'm going to close this up. And you can see it's got a tab that goes into a slot where this flap is. Just close that up. For the landing gear, you've got this post that goes into a port right there in the part of the fuselage that we just closed up. Then you want to rotate the wheel around, bring out this chrome piece, and the chrome piece is going to go into this port, and this plastic port is going to go into the wheel. So you plug that in, and then, whoops, get this plugged in, just like that. And that is 1 foot done. Now we'll do the exact same thing on the other side, and I'm going to go a little quicker. So open up the thigh, untab the knee, open that up, bring it out, pull it out on that sliding pin. There we go. Lift up on the 2 pieces of the chrome foot, pull out on the landing gear, lift up a little, bring it out, rotate it down again, rotate the foot, bring up that fuselage piece. I'll rotate this all down to tab into the top of the foot. There it is. Then I'll rotate the foot out, rotate all this chrome mess around, bring that back down, bring the landing gear up, and tab the chrome into the plastic. I'm going to rotate the leg so I can close up the thigh. I'm going to rotate this so I can get the fuselage around. There we go. Close that up. Rotate the thruster until we can tab in the post. There we go. That post went into the thruster. Then we'll close that up, put that in, rotate that. I'll tab the landing gear into the shin. Bring out this metal piece. Get that tabbed into the knee. Get that tabbed into the wheel. And that is the second leg. Both legs are done and good. Now I'll bring these hip skirts down. All right. Raise up a little bit. Believe it or not, we're almost there. Now we can work on the upper body. So first things, you've got a double joint down here. Make sure it is down all the way. Otherwise you will have problems later. Ask me how I know. Okay, so flip down the nose cone. Open up both pieces of the cockpit. Flip up the center console. And then rotate all of that around. Close up both parts of the cockpit. Why are you not letting me close up the cockpit right now? That's why it's these pieces. There we go. Good. Again, make sure the nose cone gets inside, but also we're going to rotate these around. Here we go. There we go. Nose cone is inside. Then you've got a double joint back here as well by the head. We'll bring all this up. And we're almost at a good place to start closing it up. So is what we want to do now, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you. Okay, that's pretty close. So you've got this little piece sticking out. It's going to go into a port in that armature. So what you want to do is you want to pull this out a little bit as you rotate it and then plug it in. There we go. And it's nice and solid once you do. But right in there, you can see it. I know it's hard to tell with my camera, but it's there. Okay, so once you do that, you can bring this down and just make sure that gets stooped into place. Close up the back of the head, and then the head will go right into those slots. And this should be nice and flat when you do. So, here we go. I got that located. Let me try and show you, actually. Wouldn't be much help if I didn't. So you've got these two tabs right here. And you've got an armature that's for the nose cone. That's what's going to tab into it. So if you just bring it down straight, you'll feel it like stoop into place. That's the best thing I can tell you because it's completely blind. You come around the back. You've got these two pieces that you need to pull out all the way. All right. Then we're going to bring the wings up a little. We're going to split them apart. Rotate this all the way around. Do that on both sides. And then for these pieces, you just rotate them in a little bit. Split the back of the tail fin here. And then that square is going to go over those pieces that we just flipped out. So get that locked in. Should be a nice solid click. There we go. Wanted to fight, but I got it. Then these pieces, they've got a little slot and a tab that goes into the side of this. And you're just going to get them lined up and tab them in. And they're not going to be super secure. It's just going to help with things being where it needs to be, but it's those large panels that are really doing most of the locking. Okay, so now you want to rotate the shoulders around so these finned pieces are on the front. Rotate these little missiles back. Rotate the arms. And bring the arms down. And bring the missiles up so they sit on the aircraft body like that. And then rotate these around. On my copy, they only go one way, so don't fight it. Okay. Now you want to flip open these panels that are in the forearms. Flip these panels back. And then close up the forearm panels. And they should tab in to these red pieces. Right? And then just rotate your wrists. Open the forearm panels. Flip these back. And close up the forearm panel, rotate wrist. Looks like I untabbed. There you go, got that. And that is it. We are done here. Everything is tabbed in. There's your back, your side, your front. Oh, and of course, we got to do the weapon. So this is how it comes out of the aircraft. Take this silver piece up, fold it up, give it a little bit of a rotate, flip these pieces over, and then just slide all this down. Then you've got 2 tabs for 2 slots. Go ahead and put those in place. You've also got a post up here. That's going to kind of tab in. It's not going to help a lot. There's also one in here that, again, it doesn't help a lot, but it's better than nothing. You can fold this all back and then just angle the missiles. Oops. Looks like I locked it in. There we go. Get the missiles out of the way first, then lock it in. And angle the... Yep, go ahead. There you go. You can leave these blue pieces out if you want. I like to fold them in. I just think it looks a little bit better. But there you go. And there you go. That is his robot mode. All right, let's go ahead and get down to transforming again to jet mode. So first I'll go ahead and do his weapon, get that out of the way. Go ahead and split it back apart. Bring out these blue pieces and slide it up, repositioning the missiles as you do. There we go. Flip these around and flip this back. Bring that back, press it down, and there you go. This is his weapon ready to go. All right, and for the bot, you can see I already go ahead and rotate that fist. Go ahead and make sure they're closed up. So the thumb, bring it down at the ball peg, and then close up his fingers just like that, and then rotate. And then we'll untab from the bottom of the arm, slide this forward, and then close that panel back up, and do that for both sides. All right. Then I'm going to go ahead and bring these back around. Bring them down. I'll rotate these. And I'll rotate the arms. There we go. And I can just leave those like that for now. We'll come back to that in a little bit. So let's see from here. First thing, we'll go ahead and undo the wings. So you want to separate them right here. As long as they want to cooperate. Okay, there's one. There's two. All right, yeah, you want to separate them in here first. And then these pieces on the side, you can just rotate them inward. Chances are they probably already came untabbed as you were doing that. All right, so then these flaps, bring them around, get them put back into the fin. You can start to bring these out and rotate these around, but we're not going to fully close up the wings just yet, just because they'll kind of get in our way. So I'll bring them down, I'll fold these back around, and there we go. Next up, we'll go ahead and do, we'll do the lower body first. So legs. Go ahead and bring them out a little just so you have some clearance. So let's see, first thing, undo the knees. So you've got this silver linkage going into the knee. Go ahead and push that back out and then fold it back up into the knee cover. Separate the wheel. You want to rotate that around, get it out of your way. Go ahead and bring the chrome linkage in here that the landing gear is on. Go ahead and separate it from that tab, and then you can bring down all of that. Untab that, open this up, untab it from the afterburner, bring it out on that slider, close it up, rotate, and get this flipped around just to prepare. Then I'm going to open up that thigh panel. I'm going to rotate this around. And I'm going to bring this so I can rotate this around. Now go ahead and close up in the back there just to help all that get lined up. Now we're going to come down here. Finally, you're going to flip the toe, rotate the whole landing gear mess, and then rotate the entire foot. Now we got to compress all this. So there we go. It's a little bit easier to just show you than it is to explain that part. So you just want to compress it all up. Then we're going to rotate it around and bring it in. And when we do this, we want to make sure the landing gear is on the outside of the thigh. And, did forget one thing, rotate the landing gear itself around on that blue piece. There we go. When you tab the blue piece in, it's got the two posts, the two blue ones. They're going to go in here and here. So get those in and lined up. You're also going to need to flatten this out. And this shouldn't be difficult, but it's just going to be floppy until you get the landing gear in. Your thigh rotate is going to make a difference too. Right now the thigh rotate is not lined up, so I can get one post, but I can't get the second. So watch how your thigh is rotated at that joint. There we go. Okay. So I got the landing gear plugged in. Now I'm going to fold these down so they sit pretty much flat. I've already got the back here. There we go. Fully down and flush. I'm going to rotate this the other way. I'm going to bring the knee in. It's got a post here for this port. So just get that plugged in, close that thigh panel, and then this should be able to close up, and it should be like this. If it's not as flush as this, then something is out of alignment. You probably need to do a little bit of twisting in here. That's what happened to me last time, or one of the times I tried transforming it, and it didn't want to line up. All right, so now we'll do the exact same thing over here. So I'm going to open that, get that chrome peg out of the knee, and flip it up into the cover. And there we go. Get the landing gear out of the knee cover. Rotate the landing gear around for now. Disconnect that. Disconnect the chrome piece of that landing gear and stretch the foot out. Flip this up. Untab it from the thruster. Pull it out on that joint. Close that to be able to rotate it. Open it up as you do, and then rotate at that knee joint. Because when you do that rotate, you want to make sure this post the post connection for the knee is facing inward. Should explain that a little better. Yeah. All right. We're doing good there so far. Let's go ahead and bring the toe around. Bring the landing gear all the way around. Toe back, foot rotate, and then make sure that landing gear gets rotated around. And then we'll compress all of this up. Wrong way. There we go. Okay, that's how I've got that seated. Wow, seated, I'm making up words. And rotate it. Bring it around. And again, make sure that the landing gear is on the outer of the thigh. Plug in those two blue posts. And if they don't want to work, then rotate the thigh. Yeah, my thigh is very in the wrong position right now. In doing this too, remember that it's got that slider as well. So use that slider. It's going to end up being pretty much maxed out in this direction. See how that slider is? That's how you want it when it finally tabs in. And then you fold in these two pieces and you can get everything else going. I just need to do a little bit of a rotate to get that lined up. Close those up. Make sure the toe is flat. I'll go ahead and close this up. Again, you've got the post and port in the front of that knee cover. Close up that thigh and close this up. There we go. I'll rotate that. Good. Now I'll bring these out a little bit. I'm going to separate all that from the nose landing gear, which will allow me to separate from the gear cover. Although this is surprisingly a very strong connection. It doesn't feel like it when you put it in. It feels like it just doops, but no, it's pretty strong. So do that. I didn't mean to do it right this second, but lifting up on that is okay. We're going to do that in a second, but I'm going to open up these bay doors so I have some room to work. Flip that out and bring the gear down. That's what I wanted to do. Because once you do that, now I'm going to do that rotate. And here, before I do, I'm going to rotate these chrome pieces all the way around on the little pins that they've got. And I'll bring the legs together. Okay, they've got tabs. 1, 2, then 2 ports here for these 3 slots and those 2 ports. Right, you got a few. And it should pretty much line up very easily. If it fights you, then it's just these 2 joints. And even right now, you can see I've got them a little off center. So I'm just going to rock it over, and there we go. You want those to be about even, otherwise it'll be shifted when you're trying to line up everything else. But, so now, I'm going to rotate this all the way around. You don't have to do it right this second. I'm just trying to basically finish up the lower body before we do the upper body. Alright, and then these, I'll keep them down for now because we still got to rotate the upper body, which, if it hasn't done it for you, like it has for me, now you can open up the cockpit and stretch out the double joint back here and rotate the upper body. And now you can go ahead, you can close these up completely, and set them in place. For these pieces, you can just rotate them all the way around. In fact, you may need to do that before you close up those panels, but as you can see, it's fine. You can still get it. So there we go. That's the lower half of the body all done, and he's rotated so he's facing the correct direction. Now we're going to do the upper, which is not any more difficult. So go ahead and close up these two little pieces that the fins had tabbed into. Go ahead and pull out and rotate on these side intake pieces. Pull up on the head to untab it. And now all this is basically just, you can stretch it all out. Bring the nose cone out. Open up the cockpit. If it didn't already split the cockpit like it did for me, go ahead and do that so we can put the head in place. When you put the head in place, go ahead and lift up on the back of the head to secure it, since it is that front console for the aircraft. Close up that canopy. We're going to rotate these around. Close up that cockpit again. And you want to make sure the cockpit sits where it should for these two smaller pieces connected to the intake. Then we're going to rotate these around. Don't tab them in yet, just rotate them around so they're at least facing the right direction. You're going to end up having that yellow stripe line up. Alright, so now this is what we're looking at. We're going to get the arms. So you want to be careful with these. You don't want to just wrench open these larger panels, because then these are going to fight against the body. You're going to damage something, scratch the paint, bend a piece of plastic, something. So you want to hold the blue piece. You want to make sure you rotate that while you rotate this, so that it's sitting flush and you don't cause any undue stress. Now at this point, you can fold the arms up at their double joints and unthoop this joint up here in the corner. There we go. Go ahead and start to bring it in. Do the same for both sides. So as what you've got is this square right here is where the two red tabs are going to sit. Then you've got a tab here on the elbow for a slot here on the elbow. They're going to loosely tab together. Those are not going to be super secure. And then you can go ahead and get them folded up, get them lined up. You can still try to aim for getting those tabs on the elbows lined up. It's just, like I said, they're going to come undone on you. You've got a slot here and here for two tabs in this large panel. So go ahead and close that up, get the arm tabbed in. Okay. And now, you notice that we don't have those red pieces in just yet. It's because we got to close this up. So, with everything lined up, go ahead and just push the intake in. You've got a tab and slot back here in the corner. That is the main point of actually locking it in place, and that's in addition to, the hands, the red tabs are going to be in place, your elbows are going to tab together, and it is on sliders, and those sliders are going to come together. You've also got a small tab and slot in here that's going to just push in once everything's lined up. It's one of those things. Up here, those tabs and slots, you're not really going to notice it, but it's there. It's there and it's doing something. But there we go. That's the upper body. Now at this point, I'm going to go ahead and stretch these out. And I'm going to tab these parts of the wings together. There we go. We are almost there. We're going to take this, feed it. I'm going to compress this double joint back down and feed this all through Then stretch out that joint. Whoops. Yeah, it's only held onto the C-clip. If it comes off, it's not a big deal. Just get it back on there. Go ahead and open up the bay doors so you can have everything straightened out. Or if you want, you could put the landing gear down and you could do all this with it closed. I'm going to leave the landing gear out because that's what I want. So you bring this forward, get that linkage, that armature underneath and in position. And you want to get those two dovetails as well as this hook lined up. That's what we're aiming for right now. That's all we care about. So you should be able to basically just squeeze all of it. There we go. Because up until we do this, you've got this all lined up, but you've still got the joints in the back here and here that are going to want it to kind of flop. So straighten all that out and you can get the dovetail and this connected. Then you can close up the front of the nose. We'll go ahead and put the weapon in now just because we can, because we're already right here. So you put it in, only goes the one way, give it a little bit of a squeeze, close these up. And then back here, you get that tabbed in, you plug the wire catcher into the back of the tail, and that's done. Since I have the landing gear out, I'm going to leave this panel up, which you could leave it like this, or you could leave it straight and then just have it a little bit open. It's up to you. I just think it looks better like that. And then the last thing is the main wings. So you've basically got these two tabs for these two slots. You have a slot in here for a tab right here. And then this is going to come down and hook into the back of the air intake. And then you've got this small tab that's going to go into a slot in here. And that's going to be the one that's most likely to be the very last thing you connect, because that's the one that's not going to want to just go in by itself. So you just bring it down, get everything tabbed in. Then we'll rotate these down as well. Go ahead and get everything a nice squeeze, give it all where it needs to go. And you see what I mean about that tab? There's that one. Come on now. There we go. And that, I do believe, is pretty much it. I'm going to give everything a nice squeeze and make sure it's all where it needs to be. Okay. There's the bottom. Again, landing gear down, but that's it. Here's the side and the top. And that is Touchtoys Carefray back into jet mode. So there you go. Thank you for watching. I hope this video helped at least one of you. If so, it was worth it for me to make it. And with that, until next time, see ya.